And in this special case as well, you get this thing right here and a whole bunch of birthday confetti. Hey everyone, it's Jamie from BestNerdLife. Today I'm really excited because I've managed to get my hands on a Raspberry Pi 4B, which is going to be my dedicated retro emulation machine. I've wanted one of these for the longest time, but I've never actually convinced myself to click the buy button. But luckily I have a really nice girlfriend and she decided to surprise me for my birthday by buying me one of these. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But with that being said, let's open this thing up and see what it's like. Alrighty then, so this is the Raspberry Pi from the Pi Hut, www.thepiehut.com. This isn't a sponsored video or anything, but that is one of the places where you can get one of these things, and this is where I got mine from. Or should I say, my girlfriend got it from. Now I got a kit, so it does have a few additional things. You can buy it just on its own, the Pi itself, or in a kit like I have. You have the Raspberry case, which is the Pi 4 case, red/white, made in the UK. You have a power brick, the official USB-C power supply. You have the Raspberry Pi 4 computer Model B itself. This is the 2GB RAM version. Oh, there's a little birthday confetti thing. But yeah, this is like the entire computer and I can't believe it. I just can't believe how small it is. I love it. I believe you can get the 2GB one, 4GB one, and a 6GB one. But yeah, this is the 2GB one. And additionally in the box you also get a micro HDMI to regular HDMI cable. And last but not least, you also get a Raspberry Pi approved reseller micro SD card, which is just essentially a 16GB micro SD card that you put your operating system on. And in this special case as well, you get this thing right here and a whole bunch of birthday confetti. Which was a very nice touch. Now let's get some of these things out of the boxes. First is the power supply, which is quite nice actually. I really like that. That is a really nice, weird looking plug. That's really cool. Now this is the case itself where you put the Raspberry Pi in, and yeah, look how tiny that thing is. Like, look at the size of the plug compared to the case. It's absolutely tiny and I adore these things so much. I've wanted one, as I said, for ages and I'm super duper pumped to get mine out. Now before we get the actual Raspberry Pi itself out, let's have a look at the back and just look through some of the stats. So as I said before, it's the Raspberry Pi 4 computer, Model B 2GB RAM version. It boasts 64-bit quad-core Cortex A72 processor. It's got 2GB of LPDDR4 RAM. It has 2 micro HDMI ports that supports up to 4K and 60 frames per second. I believe that's on a single monitor, but on a dual monitor, which you can do with this machine, it's 4K up to 30 frames per second, but that's some technical stuff to think about later. It has 2 3.0 and 2 2.0 USB ports. It's got a gigabit Ethernet port. It has wireless functionality. It's got Bluetooth 5.0, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, for the actual size of it, I think it's a really robust machine. Now, as I said, this is going to be my emulation machine, but I'm not going to bother with like overclocking it or anything like that because, frankly, I don't have the cooling system or the case to support that, but that is something potentially to do in the future. Now, I'm not entirely sure how well this thing is going to emulate all the things that I want to try because, it's only 2GB, but I'm sure things like NES, SNES, Game Boy, stuff like that, it should handle fine. But after all that, let's actually get this thing open. Oh yeah, look how beautifully small that is. Wow. Okay, so you have the board itself there, which looks absolutely tiny. In comparison, There's a Game Boy cartridge in comparison, which is really awesome. What else we got in the box? We have a piece of card that says, don't touch this, don't do that, do this, etc, etc. We also have a safety and user guide, so I will potentially look through that at some point. Alright, so now I'm going to put this all together. It should be very easy to do that. Just pull this apart, I reckon, and line this up with the mounting bracket things. Yeah. There's no screws or anything, I don't think. Unless there's something there. No, it's just, you just put it in like that. Alright, that's pretty much it. That is a very nice form factor indeed. What I'm going to do now is set it up properly and come back when I'm able to play games. Out of interest, the games I'm going to try and emulate are Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins for the Game Boy, Sonic the Hedgehog for the Mega Drive, and also Digimon World for the PlayStation 1. I don't exactly know how well this thing is going to emulate those, but I'll just see, right? I'll see what happens. Alrighty then, so here is the RetroPie default user interface type thing. You can actually change it. I, for example, am going to change it to the pixel design, which I think you will agree is absolutely beautiful. At least in my opinion. But yeah, so this is the RetroPie interface. At the moment, you know, you got the Game Boy emulator, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Mega Drive, Nintendo Entertainment System, the PSP, the PlayStation, and, you know, the configuration. And as I said before, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically just test those 3 games that I mentioned before. And those are Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Digimon World. So let's start with the Game Boy. And yeah, this is it. Let's have a look. So yeah, I've got my Xbox One X controller connected, and it seems to be working fine. Like so. As you can see, I've already started this to make sure it works. And yeah, it literally just works. Which is great to see, right? So look, so I've got the tree zone. So honestly, there doesn't seem to be any kind of problem whatsoever at, you know, emulating the sound, gameplay, nothing like that. Oh, need to jump over that. I really like this game because this is the first... Oh my goodness, no, I'm dead. This is like the first Super Mario game I ever played on my Game Boy. So this holds like a huge amount of nostalgic value to me. I wonder if it works in a Game Boy Color emulator, because some of the original Game Boy games could be played in color. Is that true? I can't remember. But yeah, it works, which is great. All right, let's go back to the interface itself. Next, we're going to try Sega Mega Drive, Sonic the Hedgehog. I've also added Earthworm Jim on here, which, you know, I have in real life. But I'm going to play Sonic the Hedgehog because, you know, what's more iconic than the Hedgehog? Cool. It seems fine. But yeah, it seems to be working fine, which is absolutely fantastic. All right, so let's try and run the kind of most intensive thing that I'm probably going to be able to run on here. And these are PlayStation 1 games. So let's have a look at Digimon World. Oh, it definitely seems to be running. And yeah, I guess it seems to be okay. Let's have a go at a new game. Memory slot 1. Yeah, sure. Oh, Jesus, that was loud. All right. I'll do. There definitely seems to be something up with the audio, unfortunately. But yeah, it seems to be okay. It seems to be running fine, which is absolutely fantastic, because this is exactly the kind of thing that I want to do with this RetroPie, Raspberry Pi setup. Emulate games that I've already got, so I can play them in digital form, and not have to worry about scratching them or something like that. So yeah, I'm really happy with it at the moment. I'm also just going to go on the Nintendo Entertainment System, because yeah, a lot of these games that I've put on here are from the mysterious CD that I talked about a few videos ago. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then I'll put a link to that video in the description below. But yeah, a lot of these just seem to work fine, which is good, So yeah, this thing, in my opinion, is absolutely amazing. I can't believe I finally got one, and I'm going to have a lot of fun cataloguing my games and digitizing them, and just hopefully getting them to run on here. There's only two problems I have with this thing. The first is the fact that you have to unplug and then plug back in the power cable to actually get it booting up. But I do completely understand the reason why they didn't put a button to turn it on with. I'm sure that someone who's tech savvy enough can wire something up like that. My only other problem is the fact that it's the 2GB RAM version. This thing is not powerful enough to play some of the more, intensive games like PSP and all that kind of stuff, which, is a shame. But as I said previously, I could potentially overclock it. I could play around with the settings, something like that. But for what I want it at this moment in time, this thing is great. In any case, if you enjoyed this Raspberry Pi themed video, by all means like, comment, subscribe, all that social media goodness. And as always, keep living that best nerd life.